Okay, good morning, everyone. This is Monday, April 27th. Mod 5, this is Lesson 8. Please remember, if you have any questions or you're confused or not sure on what to do, you can always email me. I'm available to get back to you guys at any time. You know that. Here we go. Let's start with our target. I can multiply mixed number factors and relate to the distributive property and the area model. Okay, we will get back to that. Your materials, you should have paper and pencil ready to go. So if you need to go and get that, do that now. Part of our vocabulary today, again, the distributive property. That means we're breaking apart the mixed numbers, and once we multiply and get our product, then we add them together to get our answer. And don't forget that factors are numbers that we multiply together to get the product. Okay, before we start going with our lesson today, let's do a little fluency. Today I'd like you to do 12 jumping jacks reciting your multiples of 8, or sitting down you can pretend you're lifting weights and do the same. Are you ready? Here we go. Get ready. I hope you're standing and you're ready to go, or you're sitting and pretending to lift weights. Here we go. Begin. 8, 16, 24, 32, 40, 48, 56, 64, 72, 80, 88, 96. Good job. Okay. So before we start our lesson today, let's try this activity. This will prepare you for what we're going to do. So a little review. We're talking about multiplying factors to get our product, and these are fractions that we're multiplying. So the first one is write 1/3 times 1/5. Say the complete multiplication sentence with me. So 1/3 times 1/5 equals, what did you get for an answer? 1/15. Remember, we're multiplying across, just like my corny video sang. Okay? The next one, write 2/3 times 2/5. Go ahead and write your answer. Okay, let's say this together. 2/3 times 2/5 equals 4/15. 2 times 2 is 4. 3 times 5 is 15. You're multiplying your numerators across, and then you're multiplying your denominators across. And our last one, you're going to write 3/4 times 2/3. All right. And you should have 3/4 times 2/3 equals 1/2 once you reduce, because you get 6/12, and 4 times 3 is, I'm sorry, yeah. 3 times 2 is 6, 4 times 3 is 12, and reduce that. Remember, if the numerator is half of the bottom, you automatically know that you can reduce it to 1/2. Okay. Let's start. So pay attention to the following problem, as I will be doing this one for you. You will recognize from prior lessons the area model and how we use the distributive property to multiply and then add our answers together. This is one strategy that you could use. So read aloud with me as I read this problem to you. Are you ready? The Colliers want to put new flooring in a 6.5 foot by 7 1/3 foot bathroom. So these are the dimensions for their bathroom. 6.5 by 7 1/3. The tiles they want come in 12-inch squares. What is the area of the bathroom? If the tiles cost $3.25 per square foot, how much will they spend on the flooring? So I like this one because this is like an everyday question, because some days you guys will have your own house and you'll want to put carpet in, or you'll want to do tiles or whatever, and you'll need to know this. So remember in our last lesson or past lessons how we broke apart each mixed number. So let's look at this model. So so basically to find the area, we need to say 6.5 is right here, times 7 1/3, shown right here. Okay, so I'm drawing my model. I split up 6 1/2 by putting 6 plus a half on the side over here, and on the top of this model I put 7 plus 1/3. So we're going to figure out an answer for each of these now. 6 times 7 is, you see the 42, and 6 times 1/3 is 2. 6 over 1 times 1 over 3 equals 6 over 3, and when you divide it, you get 2. There's your answer. Then you have 1/2 times 7. 1/2 times 7 is 3 1/2. You would say 1 over 2 times 7 over 1, 7 over 2, and then you need to divide that, and you get 3 1/2. Now you have 1/2 times 1/3, and you get 1 times 1 is 1, 2 times 3 is 6, 1/6. Now I have 4 answers, products, 42, 2, 3 1/2, and 1/6. And my answer is 47 4/6. So the area of my bathroom is 47 4/6. And if I want to reduce that, it becomes 47 2/3 feet squared. Remember, when we label area, we're saying units squared. Okay, so now the question is, if each tile costs $3.25 per square foot, how much are they going to spend on the floor? Well, I don't think we can buy 47 2/3 of a tile. So we're going to have to go to the next tile up, which would be 48 tiles. So I'm going to buy 48 tiles, and then I'm going to multiply that by $3.25. So, and here is my work. 325 times 48 equals $156. So the flooring will cost $156. Okay, so that's a multi-step question. Just take your time when you're doing these problems, and you can do it. Okay, so let's work on this one together. Remember how we took apart each mixed number and drew it in an area model? This model is going to use the distributive property. So here's my picture. This side is the 3 times 3 3/4, and the top is 1 1/3. Okay. So now I have 3 3/4 I broke up on the side here. So here's my 3, here's my plus my 3/4. So this side is 3 3/4. And the top, here's my 1 1/3. Here's my 1 plus 1/3. I'm hoping everybody understands that. We're just separating the whole number with the fraction. So I have my whole number here and my fraction here. My whole number here and my fraction there. Okay. So I'm going to say 3 times 1 is 3. And 3 times 1/3. I'm going to move this over here. Oops. It's not moving. There we go. Okay. So for the first part, I had 3 times 1 is 3. 3 times 1/3 is 1. Because that would be 1/3 times 3 over 1 is 3 over 3. And 3 over 3, we know any number over itself gives us 1 whole. So now I have 3 plus 1 is 4. So that takes care of this part. Okay, now we're going to use the 3/4. Okay, so now I have 3/4 times the 1 and 3/4 times the 1/3. Okay, so 3/4 times 1 is 3/4. And 3/4 times 1/3. Remember how we did our cross multiply, or we call it canceling now. 3 can go into 3 one time, 3 can go into 3 one time, and 1 times 1, when you multiply across, 1 times 1 is 1, 1 times 4 is 4, so I get 1/4. Now my denominators are the same. So 3/4 plus 1/4 is 1. Now I need to take those answers that I got, which is 4 and 1, and add them together. 4 plus 1 equals 5. So your area equals 5 square inches. Now, a lot of you might like to do it that way, but don't forget there's always another way you can do it by changing your mixed numbers into improper fractions first and then multiply across, multiply across. And we will do some of those as this lesson goes on. And here we go. This model will be using our second strategy of multiplying a mixed number by a mixed number. Remembering that the mixed numbers need to be changed to an improper fraction before you can multiply. So follow along with me as we do this one together. So, if you notice, I have my multiplication symbol here and my addition symbol there on both of these, because don't forget, that's what's going to help us to remember how to change our mixed numbers to improper fractions. Okay? So now I have 3 times 4 is 12, plus 3 more is 15, and we put it over the same denominator. And here we go, 15 over 4. And then the top one, I have 1 and 1/3. 3 times 1 is 3, plus 1 is 4, and you put it over the 3, 4/3. Now I'm going to just multiply those two. 15 over 4 times 4 over 3. Here we go. This is the equation that I just said, or the expression. Here we're solving it. Okay? So, remember we can cross multiply or cancel out. 4 goes into 4 1 each time. 1 times 15 is 15, and 3 times 1 is 3. And 15 divided by 3 gives you 5. My answer is area equals 5 inches squared. We multiplied the length times the width. Okay. Those of you who did not cancel out, that's fine. You would just say 4 times 15 equals 60. 3 times 4 is 12, and then you would reduce. And when you divide that out, you would get 5. And either way is fine. Whatever best for you, whichever way you want to do it. Okay, this part of our lesson, you'll be doing problems and pausing the video, and then we will correct your answers together. Okay, so this is our first problem, the directions. We're going to determine when we're going to use the distributive property or the multiplication of fractions. Which one's more efficient to solve for area? Okay, so here you're going to go. Number 1, draw a rectangle, and you're doing this right now as I'm speaking to you. Draw a rectangle. One side is 16.5 inches. That could be your length. And your width is going to be 4.5 inches. What are we going to do with those two? Well, we need to multiply them together. What strategy will you choose? Stop the video, go ahead, and when you're finished, come back and you'll review this one with me, and we will do this together step by step. Okay, let's go over how you solved for this problem. The first one shows you the break apart strategy, which is the distributive property. So let's go through this one first. We took our 4 and 1/4 and we put our whole number there in our fraction here. And then we did the same with 16.5. I have 16 and I have a half there. And then we multiplied each one to get our products. So 4 times 16 is 64. 16 times 1/4 is 4. 4 times a half is 2. And 1/4 times a half is 1/8. And we took all of these and we added them together. So 64 and 62 was 66, and 4 and 1 plus 1/8 is 4 and 1/8, and we got a total of 70 and 1/8 inches squared. Okay, I hope you're checking these with how you solved. This is a really good way to monitor yourself and see how you're doing and where you need help and where you can ask me some questions. The second strategy is changing each mixed number into an improper fraction first, then multiplying. Let's go through this one. And here's this one right here. We took 4 and 1/4 and made it into a mixed number, 17 over 4. Okay, and then we took 16 and a half and made it into a mixed number, and 16 times 2 plus 1 is 33 over 2. Then we need to multiply those two. So here's my number 2 explanation. All right, so 33 over 2 times 17 over 4 gave us 33 times 17. Here you go. Here's my multiplication of that. You would get 561 over the denominator, which is 2 times 4, which gave you 8. So now I have 561 over 8. Now, again, that is an improper fraction, and when we have an improper fraction, we need to divide. Okay, so 8 into 561 is 70 and 1/8. So your answer, 70 and 1/8 inches squared. So, thinking in your mind, which one was good for you? Which one did you like to do? Do you like to just change them into mixed fractions, improper fractions from a mixed number, or do you like to break it apart with a distributive property and find your products and then add them together to get your answer? Okay. All right, so I would like you now to do 2 problem set questions that are listed below, A and B. Please take your time and do your best. We'll go over these when you're done. So stop the video now, pause it, and when finished, come back and we're going to do these. We're going to go over your answers. So number 1, find the area of the following rectangles. And this one says, draw an area model if it helps you. So you've got A, 5 over 4 times 12 over 5. These are already improper fractions. And B, these are mixed numbers. Okay, when you're finished, try number 2. Julia's cutting rectangles out of fabric to make a quilt. If the rectangles are 2 3/5 inches wide and 3 2/3 inches long, what is the area? Length times width. Again, these are mixed numbers, so you can use either the distributive property, like we just did, or you can use the change the mixed number into an improper fraction strategy, like we just showed. Okay, so go ahead and do those. Your video should be on pause. Okay, so here we go. Let's see how you did. A, I would choose the multiply across strategy because these are 2 improper fractions already. Okay? So 5 times 12 equals 60, and 4 times 5 equals 20. Multiply across, multiply across. Okay? And you can cross out your zeros if you would like. 60 over 20 gives you 6 over 2. Or you can say 20 goes into 60 how many times? 3 times. So your answer is 3. Okay, let's go through B. 16 and a half meters times 4 1/5 meters. Okay, I would choose changing the mixed numbers to improper fractions You could have done it the other way also. Totally up to you, which we will do. Okay, 16 and a half changes to 33 over 2. You said 16 times 2 is 32 plus the 1 is 33. And you put it over the same denominator, which is 2. And then you do the next one. 4 times 5 is 20 plus 1 is 21. 21 over 5, the same denominator that's there again. 20, okay. So now I have 16 times 2 plus 1 over 2. I showed you how we got from our, this is how you change a mixed number into an improper fraction for both of those. So now I have 33 over 2 times 21 over 5, which equals 33 times 21, which I got 693 over 2 times 5, which is 10. And when we divide that out, 10 goes into 693, 69 times, and 3 over 10. Okay, let's move on. Okay. And this last one, this is the break apart that I told you we were going to do. What did you get for this one? Let's check this out. So I'm hoping that you use the break apart strategy because they're specifically talking about cutting rectangles. So this would be a really good visual for yourself. So here's my rectangle. And I separated my 3 whole number in my fraction, so 3 plus 2/3. There's my 3 and 2/3. Okay, and then on the top of that I have my 2 and 3/5. Here's my 2. Here's my 3/5. Okay. Then now we're going to solve for each product. We are going to multiply our factors together and add up our factors when we're finished to get our complete answer. Okay, so 3 times 2 is 6, and 3 times 3 over 5, shown right here how to do that, should be 3 times 3 is 9, times 5, 9 over 5, which gives us 1 and 4/5. So those are my first 2 factors. My next one should be 2/3 times 2, and I got 4 over 3. That, which I got 1 and 1/3 when I divided that out because that is a mixed number, or an improper fraction, I'm sorry. Okay, now I have to do 2/3 times 2 times 3/5, and I get 6 over 15. Okay, so now I've got 6, 1 and 4/5, 1 and 1/3, 6 over 15. Can I just add these fractions up? What do you think? I hope you said no, because when you're adding fractions, you need to get the same common denominator. Here we go. 6 plus 1 and 4/5 plus 1 and 1/3 plus 6 over 15. We're going to change all of these denominators to be the same. So I think 15 should be our common denominator. So now I have 6 as my whole number. 6 plus 1 and 12 over 15. I multiplied the 5 and the 4 by 3 each. Whatever you do on the bottom, you must do on the top. So I got 12 over 15. 1 and 1/3 becomes 1 and 5 over 15. 1 times 5 is 5. 3 times 5 is 15. That's how I got 5 over 15. Plus 6 over 15. Now we can add them all up. 6 plus 1 plus 1 is 8. Now the numerators, 12 plus 5 plus 6 equals 23. And our denominator, when we add, always stays the same. So it's going to be 23 over 15. But we're not finished because 23 over 15, you need to divide. So when you get that answer, whatever you get for this answer, which is 1 and 8 over 15, you will add it to the 8. So 8 plus 1 is 9, and then you have 8 over 15 left, which is inches squared. Okay. Okay, so let's go over the target. I can multiply mixed number factors and relate to the distributive property in the area of the model. So you're given two strategies to use to find your answers. One was the break apart and changing the mixed number into an improper fraction and then multiplying. That's actually both of them. Okay, so you have some really good examples here. Please make sure you go back in the video if you're confused when you get to your assignment, or you know that you can always contact me. Okay, everybody, have a great night and see you tomorrow.